What's going on, gamers? We have a huge report here to cover. And boy, is it a huge one to cover. Yeah, Xbox again, right? And not good news. And stuff that I kind of been talking about. Stuff that AGN has been telling you. This is why you have to pay attention to AGN's channel. Because he's not going to misguide you. And I don't know how many times I have to keep doing this. But I'm going to keep doing this. Because if you keep paying attention to morons, you're never going to get the truth. All they're going to do is share their moronic statements with you 24/7 and grift and mislead you and defend nonsense. And then every time that happens, a hard truth comes out and slaps him in the face. But what do? They coat, they wear another mask, and they look for something else to cope on. And doesn't this stuff get old after a while? Like the same circus over and over again? With no growth? Yeah, this is the Xbox world. Welcome to it. Xbox CEO announces major gaming division reset amid layoff reports. Oh, you think we're talking about 50? No, supposedly from what I read on etc., there's going to be maybe 1,000 layoffs coming. And people getting shut down, studios getting shut down, people getting fired, budgets being restricted. It's not just a reset of what you thought. And I tried to tell you, there's going to be more bad news coming with the good news when it comes to this company. Because all the moves they're going to make when you think something good is going to happen, what do they do a day later? Here it goes. Here comes the reports and the layoffs. See what I mean? You're not going to find any consistency and growth in the Xbox world. This is insane. Let's read this. In a memo co-authored with Chief Content Officer Matt Booty, Sharma highlighted wins like Game Pass growth. No, it isn't. It lost millions and millions of subs. By you dropping down the price, you just got a couple subs to come back. And that makes you think that that's growth. It's not growth because you're way far behind than you were when you were in the place at $19.99. And upcoming exclusives such as Gears of War E-Day in 2026, which is going to fall off very fast. It is. Faster than Battlefield. But that also is on PlayStation. But revealed over 20 billion spent with revenue down, nearly 500 million in 5 years, and slim 3% margins. Did you just hear what she said? 20 billion spent. Now we're talking about the Activision stuff here. See what the money they're spending? That's 90 billion plus Bethesda. That's $100 billion. Where else in the industry are you getting that type of money? And I told you, they're not making it back like you think they are. Now here comes 1,000 layoffs. Do you kind of feel like we're in kind of like that PlayStation DRM situation where people fall for this nonsense and then here comes another hard truth of I don't care about gaming like you think I do. I'm still here for profit. That's why there's going to be 1,000 layoffs. It's that significant, and we're going to get to that in a second. Hardware costs have surged. Ooh, poor $1 trillion company Microsoft. You guys are going to get it though. You don't even have $100,000. The $1 trillion company, poor Microsoft. Production lags behind demand. And studio over expansion strains resources, prompting a rebuild of infrastructure and new business models like cloud streaming. Reports from Bloomberg and The Verge point to significant, let's zoom in here, significant layoffs after June 30th. Get ready, it's about to happen. Potentially affecting hundreds alongside marketing cuts and studio restructurings. So layoffs are happening in the Xbox division teams. Oh yeah, get ready for that. I tried to tell you. Why you think I said be careful with how you handle publishing. Because if they ain't getting their money back, you're gonna get laid off. But yet they want to play that game, right? Yeah, then lay somebody off after that. I'll tell you, man, this industry, bro. Significant layoffs after June 30th. Marketing cuts budgets are getting tore down, and studio restructurings. And AI is coming in to make up for that. As Xbox recommits to annual exclusives and teases a limited 25% anniversary Series X in November 2026, all BS and needles in a haystack trying to be moved in the grand scheme, because 98% is still coming to PlayStation 5 and 100% is coming to Steam, and maybe about 70 to 80 is coming to Switch too, if they don't want to put certain other games on there. Your annual exclusive like clockwork, that's that. Who cares? Really? You know how many games come out yearly now? It's really bad. Nobody's gonna pay attention to it. Better be day one. Better be day one on Game Pass. So Asha says we just shared with our team the realities we need to navigate as we work to reset the Xbox business. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths. Hey, I respect you for that. If you want to start doing that, high five. Because guess what? What's the point of hiding it when people really already know anyways? And it pops up in other websites. You know, MPDs, VG charts, Europe, Christopher Dring, Japan for Me Too, sales to sell on PlayStation, Steam numbers, concurrent players. Why hide now? What's the point? Nor will we exceed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. Yeah, that's the definition of insanity. But that's what Xbox does, though, lately, since the Xbox One era. It has been doing the same thing and expecting different results. And parasocial behavior, brainwashing, and cult parroting behavior, and moving the goalposts consistently. And when Xbox is not doing it and they can't win it, it's terrible. And those other consoles are the most anti-consumer. Sony and Nintendo and all that. Yeah. So Xbox is planning significant layoffs under new CEO. First cuts happen in July, right? But guys, we got something to read here because there's going to be a note here that she sent to everybody. But if we want to take a look at some comments, we can do that. But I don't think we need to worry about that. We can get to that after this. Let's take a look at this port. Microsoft published a letter, next 100 days Xbox reset, that was sent to Xbox employees. Are we ready to take a look at this? Now, because this is so long and drawn out, guys, I'm going to have to tell you that the words may look small, but obviously I'm going to read it to you. It says right here, team, over the first 100 days together, we have started to revive Xbox. The Switch 2 just doubled your sales last month. Revive means that things are raising up and growing. Show me some growth first before you say that. Our platform teams have already shipped more updates in the last 100 days than during the prior year combined. What? We now have more active partners on Xbox than ever before. You didn't monopolize. You didn't buy anything. Phil Spencer did all that with his team. You're just saying what was going on, what was continuing after what he did. Our Game Pass team set to work fixing our offering, and after 8+ months of decline, 8+ months of decline. You know what? Respect to you for saying that. I respect you for actually being honest. Our service has started to grow again. Remember that time that when AGM was making those videos telling you Game Pass was failing? And they're saying, oh, 4 billion profit, 5 billion profit, all those channels. You know what I mean? I think you know what channels I'm talking about. Remember all that time they were defending it and they were saying AGM was sitting over here doing this and that? She just told you it had 8 months of decline. How slow do you feel now? Significant layoffs now too, not just CEO AI hires. And hear you. And still putting 98% of the stuff on PlayStation. Because you can't do it. And telling you 500 million was lost. 20 billion was spent. And not recouped. The Activision 70 billion hasn't been recouped. Man, we're in 100+ billion. You want to talk about smart delivery? Hey, don't get me started. I can bring up smart delivery purchases. Development cost of all the games you have made that you're going to be putting on PlayStation, and you need to recoup that back too. How much money you lost with Game Pass since you dropped the price down of that? Or jacked the price up of that? 250 million added in with that Call of Duty fine recently, Activision deal? Come on now. Now we're moving towards 750 million now with that 500 million. Because you lost 300 million on Call of Duty. You see what I'm saying? Look, man, wake up. And through Player Voice, we have a 24/7 channel to hear directly from players, creators, and developers. With the Xbox Game Showcase and the return of FanFest, we brought together hundreds of millions of fans globally. I'm not going to pay attention to that number. It's like saying the monthly active user nonsense. We reintroduced exclusives with Gears of War E-Day in 2026, which is kind of a big deal for certain people, but Gears is not in the world that it was in the 360 days where it could dominate in that window. Now you have a game like Gears of War releasing monthly now. And in September and October, that's going to be every week. That's how insane it is. And Clockwork Revolution in 2027, I'm sorry, but it's going to get dominated by tons of other games. And GTA Online is coming too. Just remember what I said. Players can continue to expect signature exclusives from us every year, but I think it's going to be stuff like Clockwork going here and out. Playgrounds games reminding us that established franchises can achieve incredible new highs. These results are early, but they demonstrate what is possible when we move faster. Stay close to our community and align behind a shared vision. I'm going to wait big time. We've had made mistakes, and we'll continue to make them. Of course, you're not perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with trying and making mistakes. But what matters is that we listen, learn, and adjust the course where needed. Remember, our fans are rooting for us. Now we start the next 100 days. It is important to have both optimism and realism as we work to reset the business. Here are the realities that we need to navigate. Over 1 billion players choose to play Xbox in our games each year. Man, spare me with that BS, man. Nintendo, Steam, and PlayStation be having like 100 and something million monthly active users. This is a bunch of garbage. You don't even have 50 million. You can't even sell 100,000 consoles a month. Xbox One has been died off. All you got left is the Xbox Series. Stop playing games. Steam is the biggest on PC, and Steam will never say over 1 billion players have played this year. I can't take this stuff serious, man. This is where it's like, you see these people make these bot accounts, and then they go on mobile and they mass spam it and they try to add these fake numbers and they add like these idle Windows user stuff, and they try to make it seem like that many people are playing Xbox. Why are you doing this? Because all this does is make you seem like a vanity fraud where you're talking about 1 billion players. Ain't no 1 billion players choose to play no damn Xbox. You can't even get 50 million. Series is barely at 30 million sales. And since all those years have passed, you have tanked down. You ain't keeping that 30 million. It's way less than that. Unbelievable. For a total of 72 billion hours across console, PC, see what they're trying to do here, PC, mobile, and streaming. Do you really see? Excluding much of China and a few other properties. Be careful with this company, because they are liars and deceivers. Our franchises are also among the largest and most beloved globally and are now breaking records in TV and film. Call of Duty had the worst performance last year. All Bethesda games dropped have failed. I've never seen them tank so low. Starfield flopped, and it flopped on PlayStation 5. What did you have that sold anything last year? The results were terrible. Tony Hawk was at the lowest sales ever. You even had to put that on Nintendo. So your franchise are among the largest and most beloved. What do you mean by that? Halo's more dead than ever. Gears was more dead than ever, but the new Gears actually looks good. Forza is more bigger than ever. Yeah, Forza is. Yeah, no doubt about that. That's for sure. But the Elder Scrolls was Unreal Engine 5 slot. Avowed was garbage. Doom: The Dark Ages is the weakest Doom I've ever played. I didn't even die, and it's already on sale for like 20-something bucks already. Nobody talked about anything when it came to that. And Black Ops 7 was absolute AI garbage. You dropped some games, but they were weak, and people forgot about it. Don't get me started with the recent Hellblade too. That was forgettable real quick and passed through. You had nothing memorable. So going forward, our competition is attention. There are more great games, TV series, franchises, creators, content formats, apps, etc. than ever before. True, all around the whole industry. We will end this fiscal year at about a 3% accountability margin. How far did we just go down? 27% down? Hey, but at least you're being reasonable. Down year over year, excluding Activision Blizzard King, over the past 5 years, we have spent over 20 billion on ongoing investments. So you take that 69, 70 billion, that's 90 billion, just between that. Not the 7 or 8 billion for Bethesda. Over 100 billion, pretty much. Platforming and hardware subsidizing, but our annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million during that time. Going forward, this cannot continue. Third-party publishing. We are in a hardware component crisis. Xbox consoles are in trouble. You're not going to have the supply, and they're not going to subsidize. When I joined as CEO in February, the price we paid for console storage components was over 2 times as high as we paid last fall. Poor Microsoft, who monopolized the whole planet to be a $1 trillion corporation. These costs have since doubled again. Poor Microsoft, but not poor Congo and all those other areas in Africa and all those other areas around the world too, where they have yeah, poor Microsoft. Okay, yeah. And as we plan for the 2027 holiday season, we expect another significant increase, taking over us 5 times the prices we paid only 2 years earlier. Either a price increase is coming or we ain't dropping the price at all, and we're not subsidizing. So what's the point of exclusives? Nobody wants to buy an Xbox console for that price. Memory costs have followed a broad, similar trajectory. While the entire industry is facing a component crisis, we believe we have been impacted more greatly than many of our peers due to the choices we've made over the last half decade. We are currently unable to make as many consoles as players want to buy. Remember I told you about that appetite stuff? That was a lie? I told you they're not going to have the supply in consoles. Oh, AGN is grifting, AGN is doing this, AGN is doing that, AGN is doing that. How many times does this circus need to happen? Once again, how many times has AGN been correct? All he was doing was telling you the truth and showing you reality and telling you that this stuff is a hoax. Now, Xbox hardware is not coming back and you cannot sell Switch 1 and you don't have the supply. And we need a new business model. And the biggest game of all time is coming out this year, potentially, GTA 6, and you're not ready. And partnerships for hardware as we remain committed to Helix. Because I'm not spending all that to manufacture Xboxes. I'm feeding the AI. And AGN said this in his other videos. It's about AI. We're currently unable to make as many consoles as players want to buy. Yeah, because you're focused on AI. That's what this is about anyways. And we need a new business model and partnerships for hardware as we remain committed to Helix. Xbox Helix is going to have limited supply. It's all about the AI. Xbox Helix ain't coming in selling no millions and millions and millions and millions. The first year drops like 15, 20 million. Hell no. I'm telling you, that is not going to happen. You better hope it at least sells 2 to 3 million. I'm telling you, get ready. We expanded our studio system when we needed a pipeline of content to meet multiple strategies across subscription, streaming, and devices. In the process, we have found ourselves overextended as we executed on changing strategies in a landscape of more readily available content. We are the fortunate stewards of industry-defining franchises that have enormous potential and player demand. You monopolized to buy them, but you didn't build them. I know what it's like to have a soul to do that. And Asha, it has nothing to do with you. At least I think you're actually a decent person in a certain way. But we have not adequately funded them to compete and win. Exactly. At the same time, as we saw this past week at Showcase, a reliable pipeline of first and third-party exclusives and new intellectual properties are critical to our success. Yes, we need to reassess the balance between these and our investment priorities for the next 5 years. Yeah, new IPs, what you want to try to make first party, but realizing that you need that profit back by being a third-party publisher. That is more important than exclusives, and you cannot ever ignore that. And that is going to be the reality for the next 5 years. There's nothing you can do about that. You've already admitted that you're 90 billion in the sinkhole just with that. In order to make that back, you have to be a massive third-party publisher. And catering to these delusional Xbox fanboys is not going to help with that vision. You need to stick to the plan that Phil Spencer had. But if you want to adapt and see things a different way, and hey, there's nothing wrong with trying a different angle. I agree with you. Trying the same thing over and over again is not going to go anywhere. It's a loophole. You're just spinning in the lunacy in the moonlight. You're trying to find the sunshine, trying to resurrect. Hey, you want that growth. You want that photosynthesis. I get it. Xbox wants to be in the sun. Don't want to be in a graveyard with no light. Being pissed on. So our current platform infrastructure is not built for the battle ahead. Our systems are overly complex, spanning hundreds of dependencies, which hinder our ability to move fast. We've become too reliant on vendors to operate our systems and must become more self-reliant as an engineering culture to build for the future. We must increase the value we ship to players while decreasing the time it takes to do so. Going forth, we'll evolve and rebuild our stack and look at the capabilities across all of Xbox and potential M&A to help us win in hardware. Well, you're definitely going to need manufacturing, and you're going to need lifetime contracts. But the whole of Microsoft doesn't care about Xbox hardware, it cares about AI and data centers and cloud computing and digital services, of course. So I don't know. PC, mobile, and streaming. For some of you, these realities will be surprising and even frustrating to discover. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths. Good. Nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. Yeah, that's insanity. Like the everyday wins mentality for the first 100 days, we will sprint to make progress against hardware, content, experiences, and services together. It sounds good, but let's see what you're going to do. Asha, you're in that situation that Phil Spencer got handed when Don Matrick threw it off a cliff. Matter of fact, I even think you're in an even worse situation. Kudos to you for taking it on. Get ready. Xbox is one of the few places where people come not just to play, but to connect with others to create memories. With consoles at the center of how our showcase experiences are defined, Windows as one of the largest gaming platforms in the world, and incredible games under our roof as one of the largest publishers in the world, we have the foundation in place. Let's reset for a stronger Xbox and build the #1 gaming and entertainment company, Asha and Matt. There's nothing wrong with having confidence and wanting to say you want to strive to be the #1 spot. You can watch plenty of animes, tons of people do it, but we all know that there's only one person that really does that, or two to go back and forth. For Xbox to do that, I kind of feel like no matter what, it's a pipe dream, but there's nothing wrong, like I said, for shooting for the sun and shooting for the stars. I like that you say, don't hide things as hard as it is. Yes, because you have to face reality. That's the only way to 100% adjust. So going down to some comments, MG Jordan says, this has to be the funniest part, we're all looking for the guy who did this about component prices while Microsoft invests billions into AI and drives the prices up. That's why I was saying they're feeding the AI by trying to kind of groom you and make you feel like a sheep that's going to, we're going to try, but I'm sorry, let me just pat you on the head. But it's about AI feed. Let's not be dumb here. That's what I was trying to say. Well, you think they got all those AI people in face? Because when Xbox falls, we're already in place for AI continuity. It's already lined up. Is Xbox ever going to have the balls to make Call of Duty exclusive? The 10-year contract you signed with the FDA, inside of court. I'm sorry, no, it doesn't work that way. You have to honor that contract. They'd be in huge trouble if they did that. Can you summarize the letter? Yeah, that's why I did that. Confirm, yes, but we all knew for years buying all those studios and publishers was a terrible decision. You were in a Marty Bird situation on Ozark. They are now overextended and have no idea how to manage it all. So you see everything she's saying here, then you get the ideas about layoffs. I want you guys to let me know what you think. Become a member. Obviously, leave a tip down below. I appreciate that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Give me that hype button. Hit that too. AGN was just trying to tell you this. Now we read this whole letter. We get an idea about a lot of things. There's a lot to talk about now because they're bringing out a lot of information here. But this is Western society for you. Always interviews and talking, right? Japanese don't talk that much. They get straight to business. All this letter tells me is that everything is in Xbox marketing, and the plans that came with it did nothing but hurt Xbox and the brand. Literally gained nothing from putting games on PlayStation. Okay, that's not true at all. Everything is in Xbox. It has nothing to do with that. Being a third-party publisher, EA and all of them, they can do that, but you don't have to say everything is in EA because it's not. You're just publishing on that platform. That was just a stupid campaign no matter what. But putting your games on PlayStation did not hurt you. Making your games day one on Game Pass was the biggest pitfall because you trained your base and your loyal fanboy base to sit there and accept that and get comfortable in a Netflix position. And now it's hard for them to get uncomfortable out of that and want to buy all these new games coming out. And because of that, you had to do that. No, you trapped yourself. And then you're saying you want to go back to exclusive, but now you're trapped because of the day one on Game Pass and you need that publishing power. You can't kill your publishing. You already admitted how much you're in a sinkhole. I've been saying this before. So now you have to need those other platforms that are succeeding and not failing to get that profit back while you spoil your base and keep them spoon-fed in a parroting position to sit there and be in a situation to want to grift about third-party publishing and having games available everywhere, but now try to turn a 180 after trying to dump on PlayStation and Nintendo and try to act like now exclusive is the best thing again. I'm just saying, that's what you did. So Xbox Showcase was good, but did anyone decide to buy one after? No, ain't nobody paying the price for that. You can still get it on PC. And all those games are coming to PlayStation except Gears and Clockwork, which nobody cares about. I don't think they will be able to turn things around until mid-next gen. And if all goes perfect, I feel you on that. Only way I see them is making online play free, physical games on disc, all third-party publishers support. So a lot of people are saying what they want to say about this, but we kind of get the idea. This is the stuff we needed to read here. And going back up to the other stuff, like when she said this right here, people are obviously going to be like, whoa, this guy says fire, Matt Booty, Tim Dog says Adidas says reset. Shout out to Adidas. C Money says, not exciting news, but hard truths have to be faced. It's imperative you slash your DEI department. They are the ultimate corporates behind making your products as unappealing to consumers as possible. There's always going to be a huge crowd for that. I understand. Get politics out of gaming. When you played Mortal Kombat in the 90s, you had all the races. When you played Street Fighter, I mean, there was something that was just natural. Just let people create naturally. All that other stuff, get the hell out of here. Just let people make video games. I don't care about any of that crap either. And I don't talk about it that much either. I already covered that back then when I did, but I'm not the one to be on that and sit there doing that all day. It's like, not really my cup of tea. But I can cover it very good, and I have when I feel like I need to. If it gets too out of control and people need to realize it's not really so much about the side, but about you understanding how important identity is and what is best for the situation. Just, I think all the time, merit no matter what. Whoever's the best, hire them. I don't give a damn what you look like. You can be orange and pink. But the point here is that my only problem with that is like when I say we're dealing with life and death situations, like if I'm going to on an airplane, I'm going to a doctor, it better be the person that loves being a goddamn doctor. Don't sit here and tell me you're hiring somebody because of certain vanity appearances. Get the hell out of here with that. You know what I mean? You don't play around with life and death like that. And like I said, if you want the best results, you want the best people, whoever they are. And whatever that result is, it's just the honest truth. Anybody other than that, to me, it's just being feminine. You can't handle the truth. It's whoever is the most merit optimized. Yeah, you meet the merit. So this is the best people to hire. I'm hiring them because they're the best with the job. You know what I mean? Other than that, who cares? After all that, I mean, I don't really care. I want a really good video game. If I'm getting that, that's what matters. I remember when people tried to say about Ghost of Yotei, but it's like, I got the platinum on that game. I enjoyed that game big time. I'm sorry, but it didn't destroy that game. Now, if you talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows, that's completely wrong. Everybody knows that. If you talk about Dragon Age Inquisition, oh man, you put so much into that. That was terrible. If you talk about Concord, it's absolutely garbage. It's like, yeah, because we can see the results of that. The game sucks. That's what it matters, is that either the game is good or not. Other than that, let me know what you guys think about this. So, yeah, I mean, as far as all that though down there, it's like, nah, bro. Look, man, it's sad, man. One of my favorite action games of all time is Bayonetta. I love Cellblade. I got the platinum on that. But let me know what you guys think. You know, getting to the layoffs, are you surprised? I'm not. Get ready. It's about to get more ugly. Later.